back. It's time to go into our second series of the evening, and this is going to be the LA Valiant going up against the Shanghai Dragons. We just had a pretty wacky, wild, and very confusing series happen between the shows, where Guangzhou was able to walk away victorious, but something tells me that we're going to get a little bit more grounded coming into this set.
I would hope so as well, Seth, and I think what we should do is collectively we should erase that last match from our collective consciousness. I think that's dealt enough damage to society as is already. It is unfortunately our encore match as well, so the North American audience tuning in to watch NA later will have to sit through that if they're watching for drops as well, so have fun with that. I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as we did, but let's focus on something that you said it could be a little bit more grounded. This could be a little bit more wacky for me, because I feel like LA Valiant, you're right, Seth, they're out of contention. They can't really get into the play-ins. The season's effectively over. They're playing for pride. They're a bit of a silly team right now. They can have the occasional upset here and there. Shanghai Dragons looking a little bit better now, but Countdown Cup has not been their stage whatsoever, so this could almost be as wild as the first match, I feel. Almost.
I mean, it definitely has that potential. We have seen the Shanghai Dragons flounder a bit as of late, but we'll have to wait and see, especially who they're going to be running. Something tells me that we could take a very well-estimated guess as to what that's going to look like, but first we'll start with the starters on the side of the Valiant and see who they've got for us. And there's not really going to be too many surprises. Marvel's going to be starting in the tank position. We've got Easy Han and Becky here for DPS, and then Langsa and Molly. This whole team, overall, as of late, has been looking great. Despite the loss, despite not being able to make it into the play-ins, overall, this team has had a major resurgence, and they have, put some respect back on the Valiant name.
Yeah, building up the confidence in the roster. Taezonde, he was always happy regardless of how the Valiant performed, but he's particularly happy even now. You got to think about yesterday's scoreline. It was quite close between the Charge, even though they finished out 3-1, and we just saw how dominant they can be. I feel like they upgraded in between days, but Valiant being able to hold their own to that degree gives me a little bit of confidence they can at least make this competitive today, Seth. Marvel and Becky in particular have been quite interesting for this roster. They've been pretty well rounded. Let's take a look at the Shanghai Dragons though, because I feel like they have a lot more options they could play. Does not surprise me that Void is in the roster. Diva's been quite a strong pick, and Void loves to play that hero.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them it's at times shoehorning the Diva in when it's not really finding much value, but as of late, the last couple times that we saw it pop up, it was looking a bit better, and overall the Dragons were looking a hell of a lot stronger. Flooded was starting to find his form again, was finding impact on Tracer, something that had not been happening for the several series previously. So it's good to see that the Dragons have, at least for a single outing, looked a lot more like their former selves, the team that we know and love, the world beaters, the champions of the Overwatch League. Whether or not they could do that today versus the Valiant, who are going to be playing like people who have nothing to lose because they don't, we'll have to just wait and see.
It's the most dangerous position they can be in, but let's take a look at the map set for this series. I can already hear the music playing through. I know exactly where we're going, Seth. Looks like the first map for today is going to be Busan once again. We've got Kings Road, Dorado, Coliseum, and Lijiang on the table if we make it that far.
I'll have to just wait and see. Things got cut shy a little bit more than I would have anticipated.
Well, Shy got cut down quite a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking about doubling back and acknowledging the joke, but I was like, they've suffered enough, but you just went right in there to twist the knife.
Yeah, why not? It's open to do it. First round looks like, Seth, we are going to be kicking things off on Sanctuary.
It's a bit of a change.
We're going to launch him off. Yeah, usually it's Mecha Base. Don't know why. It always feels like it's Mecha Base or Downtown. Never Sanctuary to kick things off.
Well, here we go. Gate's going to be opening up. Looks like we will have the TP forward from Fleta. Swaps now over to the Tracer. So we'll just be not quite mirrored compositions, actually. Langsa comes out here with the Lucio, Marvel on the Winston. Void, of course, going to be sticking to the Diva. So Shanghai showing us, some more of what we have been seeing from them. Valiant not really looking to match. Dive in.
And there's a Goomba Stomp.
Yep. Well, that's a good way to start if you're a Valiant fan. Hack now out of the Void. The jump forward once more. Void instantly taken out of the back. And right now, Valiant looking great. Playing off each other incredibly well.
Yeah, great shutdowns there onto Void and Lip. Guarantees him the first point, basically. Good pushback there. Just to try and keep him out of that one. keep them away, create some distance into space. The test the cannon isn't as effective, and you got time to get away. Point cap went over to Valiant. They can now hold on to this. Becky climbing ahead in ult charge, as is Molly. I expect that Nano Winston to be an oppressive tool in Valiant's toolkit today.
Okay, hack on a Marvel. Trying to give him some similar treatment, but he manages to leap away, gets the bubble up, still is being harassed, however, Lip able to pursue forward.
Big.
Gets that kill, now Fleta finds Molly in the back line as well. The cleanup coming through, so a bit of a rocky start for them, but the Shanghai Dragons will be able to wrest control away from the Valiant. 31% set up here for LA. Shanghai now in control of the point.
Without having the insight, Seth, I'm not going to give it that they planned that, so I'm going to go with convenience instead. The translocator location was exactly where Marvel was retreating to after they got bursted down and hacked. So Marvel going to safety, thinking he was safe, the translocation from Lip comes out, and Lip is right on top of a critical health Marvel to spray him down. There was no escape for the Winston there. And so Lip converts the kill and makes it a 5v4.
Well, it's very well piloted from the Shanghai Dragons, finding some stability, now taking the lead. EMP out first from Lip. They instantly get on top of Molly, find that kill. Marvel as well going down. Langs are going to be the one surviving through the EMP, at least for now. But going a bit on the hunt, but likely doesn't want to go deep enough. Potentially get punished. They have eyes on Lucio though, through the wall, given the hack. For now, just continue to play forward. Fleta waiting for an opportunity to go try to invest this pulse bomb.
Constantly Lip deep behind territory, but it's actually Easy Han's EMP that lands first. Doesn't convert the kill, but Lingza does.
Yeah, Izayaki just meant to stay alive, pops the Transcendence, and the pulse bomb goes in to try to break Void out of the mag. Not enough damage though, and now he's got that self-destruct should he have it broken in the end. Lingza going to be traded out. Marvel, nanoed up for another target, holds on to the Primal in case he needs it here. And Void can't make his way back onto the point in time to keep this in contested, so the flip will be there. Valiant back in control. Just halfway now tying up against the Shanghai Dragons. They need to hold this for a while.
And importantly enough, Shanghai Dragons realized that, yeah, there wasn't really a chance to hold there. Void had the option of using the self-destruct to remech quickly, but unfortunately, like I said, he realized that it's already pretty much would be wasted if they did that. So instead, opting to get demexed and get sprayed down so that you can have a full reset and have that tool ready to go when there's a more competitive fight for the Shanghai Dragons to take.
Inching forward. 10% separating now. Sound barrier at the ready from Langza. He's going to drop the beat. Shielding goes out onto 3. He Marvel, Molly, all recipients. Sleep connects on a Marvel. They don't wake him up. Crucially played here. Now they look for the punish, and they instantly send him into orbit. Great hit from Izayaki to get the killing blow. Shanghai Dragons, in the meantime, back in control of the point, retaking the lead once more. Langza now dead. Marvel swapping over in desperation to the Doomfist, knows that he's going to have to try to get back in here quickly, but Molly gets picked off at the back end of the fight. It's a huge stagger. Langza now swapping to the Brigitte as well, just to try to have a little bit of extra staying power, but to see. Becky likely the one to go for the touch as Easy Han gets spy checked. And Lip is very well aware of his position.
Right. Marvel's on point, so that will contest and will keep the overtime alive. Critical HP already backing out. Lip finding a target to hack. Izayaki just deletes Becky.
Yep, takes him
Good
down. The
Lord,
pulse bomb goes wide.
over.
They cannot find the kill. Now the EMP goes out. Not really going to clip anybody there. But Marvel gets anti. Langza is cleaned up, and the Shanghai Dragons will be able to take the round in the end. So a solid start for the side of the Valiant, but it does come tumbling down around them by the end. 100 to 77%. Shanghai takes Sanctuary.
Look, that was quite like it's a zoning EMP, Seth. This is a zoning EMP. It's okay. They're allowed on control when it's literally a zone as the objective. Izayaki finding that end up being frag. They follow up into 2. They have a 5v3 right at the end there. They're already on rush picks to try and sustain. They're on panic picks, not the main comp. Valiant needed to find clutch picks, not get clutch themselves if they were having any hope of flipping that round. As soon as they lose 2 members, you can pretty much write them off at that point. Shanghai Dragons take the first round. Now we move over to Mecha Base.
That we do. Gates will open up. Again, the TB's forward, the swaps to the Tracer. Comp's just going to be very much staying the same for either side. Marvel, again, looking to go aggressive off the rip, but it's going to be Izayaki this time taken down, but has a fast trade. Becky falling to his hand. We'll just hug
Becky
back for now.
Izayaki trade.
Dive straight. That's aggressive as hell. Lip just jumping straight into the bubble. Just trying to spray him right there in the face with that Mac 10. It's a little bit of damage on the Marvel. Now they will be able to pressure him out. Void chases forward. Manages to ram into him, finds the kill. Point unlocked. Shanghai Dragons have that forward position. Inside track, they get the lockdown first and foremost this time around.
Yeah, he entered the Thunderdome and immediately regretted the decision, it looks like. Seth, they just backed out straight away. Did not want to be locked in there with a Tesla cannon and out of LOS of any kind of support that could come in to help them. Point still control with Shanghai Dragons. Paulson goes out and finds Molly, so Dragons get to extend that lead further.
I mean, we're used to seeing Becky build these things up so rapidly, but instead it's Flutta who actually gets the lead in that regard. Now also takes down Marvel. Becky retreating, grabs the health pack off screen to keep himself alive. Now is going to be spotted, as is EasyHan. They draw him out of stealth. Translocates away. Ping's coming in. They know exactly where he's at, and Void has the kill. Further staggers being found. Langton trying to move his way out of the spawn, but it's instantly greeted by a Bionade. Void just holds the door.
Void's having to spray damage in there, just build up towards that self-destruct, added more staying power. Marvel sticking on this Doomfist as well, so finding a little bit more confidence or comfort in this one. Hopefully going to punch through the lines of the defense, get onto the back line, but just misses out when hitting Izayaki there. EasyHan was in range to follow up, so any form of CC could have been disastrous for Izayaki there.
Oh, Becky. 17 HP, wanted to go in, try to make a play with the pulse, but has to recall out. Mana boost on the Izayaki, trying to keep him alive. Flutta already has been claimed. Izayaki continues to go low as Marvel dives in, but then the EMP strikes, he ends up falling. Maybe going to be traded up. Becky able to find one. Point flip, getting ready to come through from the Valiant, but okay, Izayaki pulls the trigger, says I'm going to use a Transcendence. Void pistols down EasyHan in that with that Bunny Blaster, as you say. Gets the kill, and the Shanghai Dragons hold the point. 83%. Now it's final fight for Valiant. They need to get this flip, and they need to make it happen right now, but Becky has been eliminated, and that's one of their biggest extension tools taken away from them.
Okay, they have a fight extender with themselves if Valiant could get there. They have the Meteor Strike from Marvel. Should be able to have them get in and out. They need to recontest. Need to be careful of overtime knocking down. EasyHan will be there first. Backline charge for Marvel. He's gone straight towards him. Missed him. He's trapped in a corner.
Void slept, woken up, and they just don't touch. Is it going to happen again? 2 series in a row? This is just what's going to happen now?
Ah! I can feel my hairline receding, Seth. I can't do this again. Not again. I'm not strong enough.
Oh, boy. All right. All right. Strap in, everyone. It's going to be a very bumpy ride. There's once more. There is no touch.
Okay, well, we'll talk to production, see if we can get some circus music set up as well for when we come back.
If not, I'm prepared to sing it myself. Anyway,
yeah, maybe we start verbalizing that.
They didn't touch. We don't get to see the overtime fight. Shanghai Dragons, they take the map 2-0 on Busan. It's theirs. Kings Row's coming up next, and we'll see you on the other side of the break. Goodbye. Sorry, I was just praying that teams learn how to touch the point. Welcome back! 1-0 start for the Shanghai Dragons as they take Busan with a 2-0. Unfortunately, the LA Valiant just didn't play the point to try to extend overtime, and that costs them the map in the end. So we don't get to see them pick up a single round. We don't get to see downtown. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the substitutions that we're going to be having. Sashin's going to be stepping in for Marvel. And then on the side of the Shanghai Dragons, we are going to be having Lee Jae-gon coming in for Bebe, as well as Who Are You for Fleta.
You know, at surface value, Seth, to me that says we're seeing Lucio and Genji coming in. Like I said, very surface level. But that would be where I would guess what's going to happen in the next map that's coming up. Of course, we already alluded to that it's going to be King's Row. So that would make sense to me as well that we see those two extremely mobile heroes making an appearance.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty safe bet. Who Are You coming into play anything other than the Genji would be a bit bizarre. Granted, we know that he can play things like the Tracer and whatnot, so if he needs to flip over to something like that, you know, if he's getting pressured out or, you know, depending on the point that they're playing, yada, 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 we know that he's capable of it. So definitely has that flexibility. So we'll see how he fares, but he has been looking like the best Genji that we have here in APAC. It's just unfortunately been not that often that we get to see too much of him. So I'm excited to see him stepping back in, and also seeing the Valiant try to make up for what we just witnessed.
Yeah, I can't really put the blame on Marvel, so I feel like they are going to have to redeem themselves, but subbing out Marvel for Sashin isn't the ultimate solution for them. There needs to be a lot more work on the Valiant to get around that, because ultimately, you know, we saw what the attempt was with Marvel on the Doomfist, get into the backline, try and pick off Izayaki or Bebe, got himself a little bit isolated and trapped in the corner, but when that happens, you communicate to your team and you have one of your other incredibly mobile heroes like a Sombra or Tracer get on point to buy more time. You don't just let a C9 happen, unfortunately. But, yeah, we'll see how that moves on. There is a capture point, so there is an opportunity for someone to C9 before we get to the escort section of this phase of this map, Seth. So, King's Row, our next destination. LA Valiant will be attacking first.
Anything is possible. We'll have to just see what happens here as we do go into King's Row. And, of course, Dorado coming up next after that. But unless the Valiant can get a map win in here somewhere, we might not be seeing Colosseo and Lijiang Tower. See how they fare, though. Need to just right the ship, shake off the loss, say, okay, you know what? We didn't get the touch, but that's fine. Just keep yourselves in the game, refocus, clear your head. Much like we're doing in between all of these maps that we've witnessed tonight.
We have to decompress, Seth. I mean, we've actually we've spoken to the league. We've actually got access to mental health services in between the breaks for some of these stuff. Like, the stress is just killing us.
Yeah, I've got a therapist on standby next to me, and I take the headset off and I immediately go lay down on the couch.
On the chaise lounger, just lying down there. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and then they didn't touch the point again.
Yeah, it's honestly, like I said, I can't wait to see for the rest of the Owl enjoyers to watch the Encore match later and understand the pain we went through. But let's take a look at the pain Shanghai Dragons might have to suffer here. Sashin on the Zarya, Becky rolling out on the Echo, something they've not been afraid to do in this meta. So we're going with the Sojourn Echo combination for the LA Valiant. So definitely going to have to be looking up as well as to the left and right with this one.
Okay, it is a rare losing team first on the attack, which is not something that you see as a standard. It's always exciting to see Void back over onto the Zarya, though. Has been playing that D.Va so very much as of late. Back over to the pick now that made him famous. Rail still charged up, Lip waiting for his opportunity. Doesn't send it over towards Easyhan. Waits it out, takes a nasty chunk, but spots Molly, gets him with a body shot. Can't quite finish him off. Molly lives to fight another day. Deflection pop from Who Are You? Becky still up in the skies, harassing where possible, trying to weave some of this damage in. Easyhan getting jumped up, and Lee Jae-gon is just right up close and personal. And Who Are You flying down on the ground, dashes through, gets in behind Molly, but ends up getting beamed. Becky finds the kill.
He's on 4 HP.
Through. Easyhan somehow on 4 HP, somehow still alive. Now receives a bit of healing. Trade comes in, though. Void finds Sashin, but now Lip taken down means that that's going to be the damage dealers out of the fight for the Shanghai Dragons. The Nano Boost goes over to Void. He's got high energy, and Molly just completely disappears. That pick alone, it might just be enough, but no, Easyhan answers back. Another rail headshot. takes Izayaki out of the equation. 1.5 ticks given up here by Shanghai Dragons, but they still are holding forward here at the hotel. They're trying to win this one out. Sasha rejoins.
Seth, imagine if that 4 HP got converted onto Easyhan, and because Easyhan ultimately took out 2 bodies by himself there with the railgun. Easyhan's off the board there. Different story potentially for the Dragons. Nano Boost given over to Sasha, Graviton Surge thrown into the mix. They're delaying the inevitable though. Someone has to touch.
They're off the point. It's going to be Lee Jae-gon, of course, who moves forward to try to get this touch going through, but Sasha just kites around the corner, manages to track him down, finds the elimination. The anti comes through onto Void, and that is going to be the point broken open, captured. Shanghai Dragons not really able to occupy it for too very long here. Grab was used by Void solo onto Sasha, but Molly just nanoed him and says, okay,
follow
perfectly fine. Celebratory grab.
Where's it go?
Tracks it into the sky, and then it disappears.
I genuinely thought Becky was doing some like 900 IQ lineup there where it was going to somehow stall the Dragons or catch someone on a split spawn. So I was like, oh, let's follow it. Let's see where it goes. Track it. And it just disappears in the sky.
Well, Lip moving forward, leading the team, pushing forward here around the corner, trying to get back over to the cart. They've already lost the opportunity to go for that arch control. If they can win out here, though, cart with a little bit of rollback, they can have that forward defensive position. Plenty of ults. Instant beat drop there from Lee Jae-gon in response. Blade pulled by Who Are You. Has them all zoned back. It's very much just looking to shove them away, but once that gets resheathed, the Valiant are straight back in onto the cart now. Going on the offensive. Overclock pop by Easyhan's looking for a target. Goes sliding over, looking for the flank angle. So far, no one looking at him. Now they're going to be well aware of it. With the rail shot, it actually goes wide. Lip comes diving down, gets on top of him for a brief little moment, and actually forces the position back. Thanks to falling, Easyhan and Sasha all dead. Just Becky and Molly trying desperately to escape, but the chase is coming through, and they will not be allowed. Lee Jae-gon with a great little push in behind. Yes, the boot back sets up for the kill here for Void.
Shanghai Dragon fans obviously familiar with Lee Jae-gon just being everywhere on the map where you don't expect him. He's able to get behind a retreating lineup and push them back into combat. A high energy Void picking up the kills, sucking them all up. Gets a Graviton Surge for this next fight. Now they're at the choke point. Becky's been deleted as well. They may not be on the payload, but they have control of the choke. You try and walk through here, you're walking into a Graviton Surge.
Yeah. This is where things can get very much dicey for the Valiant. It's a good start to the push. If they can break back through here, they can still have a decent enough time to try to finish the map, but every second that goes by, the odds look better and better for the Shanghai Dragons. Catch over onto the flank, and that's just 2 locked up. Easyhan and Langsa knocked out of the park. Void still maintaining high energy here. The choke continues to be held.
Still maintaining that high energy. Void, don't bite off more than you can chew, though. If you go too deep, you might lose all the work you put in so far.
Oh.
That's rough.
Lip just finding a freebie. Yeah, head just inching out behind the corner. Gets the quick kill, but Easyhan responding quite nicely. Takes down Lip. Good amount of space going to be opened up. Does need an anti as he goes around the corner. A shot as well from Izayaki. Now slept, but obviously no one's going to be able to capitalize on this one, so he will be able to wake up. Becky now just helping escort the cart forward. Sasha, the grab, nearly online. Gets anted for a brief moment, but Becky could just as easily go for yet another duplicate here onto Void and try to have that second grab online once more.
Yeah, G-Bill, how come your mom lets you have 2 grabs? It's the option that always Becky will have in this matchup. Still just trying to keep Who Are You in check for the time being, giving damage, making them use their mobility, but here's a Nano Blade combo coming in. Bubbles deployed, there's nothing to stop this!
He delays it. He will be able to get easy on, but the shutdown was there. They had him antied out. Langsa is able to find the kill. Grab in once more. The beat comes through from Lee Jae-gon. Lip breaks Becky out of the duplicate with the headshot off that overclock. Knows that he's going to be skirting around the tops of those roofs somewhere, but hasn't quite been able to identify his position yet. Now they know he's going to be on the right side flank. Seems like Lip maybe watching for it. Sees him for a brief moment. Widely, they hold the Valiant back, at least for now. No ults on either side. Everybody quite far away aside from Easyhan and Void, who's going to get this one ready to go, and he actually lets it loose. Grab goes in. Lip's got the angle, gets the headshot. Sasha taken down. Easyhan not going to be able to use his in this fight, not without the tank coming back in. He's actually maybe just not going to be able to use it at all. He gets picked off. Becky as well. Antied out. Molly out in the open. They look to finish him off, and they will. Void beams him down. And that's with 15 seconds remaining, and somebody's going to have to try to get this touch.
10 seconds remaining. Who's got the sprint option? Becky's lingering. They've
Oh,
spotted
they
him, though.
know.
Oh, the forward
Yep,
offering base. If they don't touch, it could be over already.
Yeah,
They're
but he's up in the
Don't call
sky.
it a
He's going to be
C9.
taken down, and the touch is not going to be able to happen this time. It's not a C9. It is just
No,
the
not at
staggers
all.
over and over again. The Shanghai Dragons perfectly identifying where every member of the Valiant was at the ends of those fights to be able to pick them off one after the other. Now they have a very real, very obtainable win condition to try to move up 2-0.
Yeah, that's not egregious at all, chat. That's not egregious at all, viewers. It's just, like Seth
What's egregious
said,
is
you
how
know,
dominant Shanghai was in the second point.
Oh, yeah, they kind of shut them down quite a bit. But no, you can see the attempt there. You had Molly and Becky just lying around ready to go. And yeah, they're waiting in that forward lineup, hoping they could sneak a back touch just to get the overtime going while the rest of the team came over. I think it was Lee Jae-gon who spotted them out by going up to the high ground. And at that point, it's like, hey guys, there's a 5v2 on the payload, let's just kill them. The only real option for Becky to stay alive was to go up and create some space between them and the damage that was being output. And unfortunately, if you're going up into the skybox, you're going further and further away from the payload. It's not like Lengza, who was also up there, could step forward. He's kind of being body blocked, forced into that room and broken into pieces as well. Not really an option there for Valiant to be able to touch and keep it alive. Now doing for the side switch. No real changes to the composition from the Valiant. I don't expect Dragons will change it up either. They've got no reason to.
Yeah, just keep going. Just keep doing the same. Lip is, of course, going to be looking for the opening shot with the Widowmaker here. Anything that he could get would be monstrous. I have seen some oopsies. I think we did, yesterday on Paraiso with the kill coming out. Will just be the quick swap now over to the Sojourn. Lee Jae-gon already getting some time invested here on the point contest. And I mean, he's just trying to get on top of Becky. Puts a considerable amount of damage onto the Tracer. And I mean, this is just what we come to expect and love from Lee Jae-gon. Lives and dies by the aggression. Who are you? Doing much of the same. Gets Easy Han, but then gets traded.
Yeah, who are you for Easy Han? It's still manageable for Valiant to be able to hold this one.
For either side, but
Not if that
he's
happens.
completely caught out.
Not
He's
if
off that
happens.
left side. Needed Sasha to be playing them with him, but no bubbles to be found. Just gets taken down. Limit testing a bit here. Falls a little bit low, but instantly continues to push, just stepping to Becky. Looks to build up for the rail. He'll dash, breaks line of sight, gets himself indoors. Who are you? Going on the chase. Says, okay, I'll just try to get this mega pack from you. Doesn't manage to do it, but forces the recall. Jumps back up top, and here comes Lip to the rescue. Continuously just forcing Becky back, finishes him with the punch, and that'll be the cap. A monstrous time bank here now for the Valiant to chew through. 5 minutes,
A monstrous
16
stagger as well.
seconds.
A monstrous stagger onto Becky, so that split spawn will be coming in for them. Bit of a trek to come back. They are on a Tracer, so blow a couple of the dashes and you're all going to be good. Great prediction there from Who Are You to predict where the movement was going to be. I believe he got the hit marker on the dashing Becky, forcing the recall immediately because they were just under so much pressure in that tiny room. Obviously, kill comes in there from Lip to secure it. Void's a little bit out of position by the time being. He's locked in, but he's in LOS of his healers, so he should be able to sustain it.
I think he's more than happy to be in this position. Sashin's actually trying to flush him out a little bit by pressuring the corner and threatening some of these
just
supports.
gone
But you can
off. They
see
just ignored
they don't
Sashin.
even care. They don't even care. They just completely ignore Sashin. Now they put him on the ground with the sleep, so there's no bubbles to help rescue any of this back line. Where you gets in there, finds the kill. Sashin now has to basically int in onto the cart, give his life. He does so. Goes for the reset, but now 4 minutes, 21 seconds remaining. As Who Are You again?
What's Becky
Deja
doing
vu,
here?
Hunting down Becky here in the back room near the Mega Pack. Lee Jae-gon also getting involved. They force the recall, but Who Are You is right in on top of him, and this is just going to be some more stagger. Lee Jae-gon scoops the kill in the end. The cart has not stopped pushing this whole time. And
This is disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like a 2-0. I see no world in which the Valiant are going to be able to bring back this defense, even with the ults that they have. They're going to try for it.
Trading grab.
Grab comes in. Sashin moves up, gets right on top, gets the kill there on Lee Jae-gon, but again, no one is able to touch the cart. And
That's
Shanghai
not even a C9
Dragons
either.
will move up 2-0.
That's not even C9 either, Seth. That's just grabs being forced off the point. I mean, like, how much of a mental hit it is to Sashin to just feel like they don't even care about me. Like, they didn't even CC Sashin in any way, and they were running past him. They were like, we don't care about you. You're not even a threat to us. We're just going to go kill your backline. And then, obviously, they follow up with the sleep dart afterwards. And Sashin just kind of gets a little bit bullied there.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end, you saw, like, Becky, I don't know what they're doing that deep. There's no reason for them to be outside the spawn of the Shanghai Dragons like that. Maybe it was a pathing that was forced by the Dragons to get them down there, but really confusing to be there. And you saw how beyond the payload the Shanghai Dragons were playing at the end. That's why you could see Sergeant and Void trading grabs off point. And even though it forced Lengza to drop the Transcendence to try and speed to the point while they're invulnerable, they were just out of range because the space had already been given up to the Dragons. They were already playing with territory they owned. Like you said, Steph, there was no real way that the Valiant were able to pull that off. There's a 2-0 at that point. We're now at match point.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe you are right after all. Maybe it is just going to be an evening of 3-0s. Because right now...
Don't jinx it now.
Well, we'll see what happens. I've needed reverse sweep if the Valiant want to be able to pick up this victory here. But the Shanghai Dragons are... It seems like it wasn't a flash in the pan with them finding their identity, finding their original footing in that last series that they didn't play. It seems like they are here. They figured out the meta, and they are ready to play. Void looking impeccable on that Zarya. A big pick for him, and I'm hoping to see more of it when we come back from the break, so don't go anywhere. And we are back. It's time to go into what could very well be the final map of our second series here of the evening. Shanghai Dragons currently leading 2-0. Two very dominant performances so far. First on Busan, then on Kings Row. Now we get ready to go into Dorado to see if it continues or if the Valiant will be able to pump the brakes a little bit and slow them down. We have some more substitutions coming in. 3 on the side of the Shanghai Dragons as we will see Fleta come back in. Bebe in as well, and actually maybe it was just the 2. I can't do math anymore.
Fleta and Bebe
my
coming
brain's
back
been
in.
boomed too much, so.
Yeah, that's understandable. We've had a rough evening so far, Seth, when it comes to taking a lot of mental damage from the series we've seen so far. But it is just Fleta and Bebe coming back in, so Void, Lip, and Izayaki staying fairly consistent at a point. No substitutions from the LA Valiant. I think this is the roster they're going to ride or die with as we head into Dorado, which is going to be our 3rd map of the day. Just a quick recap of kind of the problem areas we've seen so far from the Valiant. No control of space, whatever. Sarshin is just not respected as a tank threat at all by the Dragons. They just completely run over Sarshin and go there. Now, I don't put the individual blame on Sarshin for that, clearly, because the tank is made up of multiple components of resource that are funneled into them. Sarshin needs to become a threat, otherwise they're just going to keep claiming all this free space and making it impossible for Valiant to contest objectives. Now, on an escort map, if the space is claimed the same way, where Dragons just supersede far beyond the payload itself, Valiant have no chance of stopping them, no chance of contesting when it comes down into overtime, and it can be an absolute disaster for them. But it's a new map, opportunity for a fresh start. They probably had a pep talk from the coaching staff. Let's see them pull it together and hopefully start that campaign for the reverse sweep against the Shanghai Dragons. Sorry, I couldn't say that without chuckling.
It's understandable. Maybe, 2 weeks ago, would be able to say it with a little bit more seriousness, but given what we have seen from the side of the Dragons, in their last series, in the first 2 maps of this one, it does seem like a bit of a far cry hope for the Valiant now to be able to turn things around. But if they could, what a story it would be. So we'll have to just wait and see if they can get it done, or at least pick up 1 or 2 maps here for themselves. Given that Dia obviously not subbed in means that we're not going to be seeing any Widowmaker battles, which is something that I was hoping to perhaps see, because it's been a good long while since we've gotten a proper one here, with Lip. Not to be. Becky's just going to be taking the skies once more, at least off the rip. As Easy Han goes over to the Sombra, Lip going to be matching in that regard, but Fleta on the Tracer.
Okay, a vertical threat. Need to be mindful of. Can get hacked out of the sky. Ground them a little bit, make it easier for sweeping duty. Of course, Void can go up into the sky to challenge Becky if needed with those boosters, but more than likely going to be playing that sweeping defensive duty. Low Sarshin.
Okay.
Try and get there.
Pushing his way up top. Drops back down here onto the low ground. Skirmishing where possible. Lip gets chunked out. You can see Becky moving forward, trying to get a contest onto Izayaki, trying to rip that Zenyatta apart. Hasn't quite been able to get the damage through yet, but still decent damage found as Void has to pull back. So already now into the marketplace go the Shanghai Dragons. Sticky bombs into the corner. The beam comes in. Izayaki going to be taken down. Great opening kill here for Becky. He's getting turned around a little bit here while Fleta tries to pressure him out on the flank. Overall, Becky is going to be perfectly safe. Fleta, however, close to that pulse bomb. 13% left to go. Becky continues to just push completely unhindered right now. Bim comes in, threatens Void a bit, and that's just the cap. It's this time the Shanghai Dragons who can't go to the contest.
So hard for Void to be able to step up. If Sarshin gets rolling and Sarshin gets energy, Void has no mitigation against that. Also caught with his pants down a little bit. Back to try and keep his backline alive.
Oh,
Becky being oppressive right now, but does shut down Easy Han.
Yeah, the help of Izayaki, they will go ahead and take it out. So a little bit too greedy to try to get the break onto Void's mech. Obviously would have, want to force that, because he's either going to have to pistol his way back in, or he's going to have to jump off the side of the map for a reset, buys you even more time. So it does become a little bit more costly for them, but plenty of time to work with here for the side of the Valiant now. With ults getting ready to come online. Easy Han going to be the first to the EMP. Lip staggering behind just a little bit.
Want to see the utilization of it. Keep an eye on where they're stealthed and... okay, Nano Becky. What are your options
out
there?
Him,
Not very good.
Baby off the rip. Early kill, but they need a little bit more than that, especially when Fleta gets into the back line, finds Lengths up. 2 for 1. The dupe now coming out. He actually goes for duplicate onto Fleta.
Yeah, Becky Tracer back on the field.
Yeah,
Void eats up the
pulls
pulse.
Void just noms that one up. Izayaki now pops the Transcendence, takes out Sashin.
Ooh, well, hello.
And Void is just filling the kill feed, whether it's kills or eats. He comes up in a big way. Finally not down to the back end, and for all their investments, Valiant have nothing really to show for it.
Looking at the resources from Valiant, they still got that Graviton Surge and the Rally to come into this one. Easy Han's EMP going to be a good option for them. A Nano Boost might be a saving grace here for Izayaki if he gets put under pressure. Void also might be able to make use of that as well as an option to just be an even stronger linebacker. Very easy to control space. Easy Han's found the route of ingress. Oh no, backline found!
And it is. The EMP goes out.
Where's the support?
They're not,
Where's the
they're not
follow-up?
finding the kills. There's no dive. There's no nothing. I mean, obviously, Sashin's not really going to be able to join into that kind of position. He's playing a Zarya. He can't just make his way onto the high ground. You need Becky to come swooping in out of the skies.
So
and try
late.
to scoop some of these kills. Instead, the EMP gets used, and they find absolutely nothing for it.
Becky was so late on that, Seth. When we cut back to the rooftop, you can see Becky just lingering around the outskirts of the fight. There's only so much damage Easy Han can do before the reaction comes in from the Shanghai Dragons. And if he had that extra focusing being damaged from Becky, maybe the sticky mines, you probably could have converted one of the kills from that and actually find value in the EMP. Very sloppy coordination from that execution.
Yeah, it just feels like things are kind of starting to fall apart a little bit here, but where they were looking great on that initial attack on point A, everything was very tight-knit, very well coordinated. But now, clearly, some disjointedness coming through from the side of the Valiant. Much like we saw from them on the first two maps. EMP now used by Ellipse.
That's how you
the kind of
dive!
balls that we're talking about. Sashin taken down, Lang's dead to the pulse bomb. They find Becky as well for their troubles. Ellipse scooping up a triple kill here now with Molly getting eliminated. And it's just a cycle, one after the other. And ult gets invested, the Shanghai Dragons win a fight.
Yeah, that's how you execute the EMP dive. Lips in the middle, and while the EMP is being casted, Void's flying in and micro-missiling down a target. Yes, Lip has just been found out by Lengzer, probably due with some greed of just trying to pick up some extra spawn charge. There's more than enough time for them to get back and defend this one, though.
1:45, Karn inching forward. Self-destruct at the ready. Nice anti-nade goes on to 2. Becky as well eliminated. Izayaki plays off the back of it, finds the kill, and then Sashin again left out to dry. Gets taken out. Langza into the corner. There's just no way that he's going to be able to survive this one, you would expect. But okay, they'll just turn their sights on Molly instead, then deal with Langza. So Molly probably saying, thank you. You drew them right to me, and now I'm dead as well. And Easy Han kind of back cap, dead.
All right, well, that's going to be like 1 minute left. 2 fast fights, 1 slow one left available for the Valiant. This is rough. They're on the cusp of capping point B, so if they do win a decisive fight, they can probably get an extension from this, Seth. The map is far from over for them. Just need them to tidy up. Easy Han's got that EMP. Let's see Becky with the follow-up a lot faster. Quicker reactions. Get a conversion off the back of that pivotal ultimate. And you can get yourself an extension and move on to the final section of this map.
And likely going to need the EMP grab here just to make sure that Void can't go for the eat. Flood up onto the high ground, reading this one. There's the EMP. And I don't think he hit anybody.
What? Why?
No, he hit Void. Okay. Oh, Becky goes for the dupe, has the Sombra, gets a hack here onto Void. Still not seeing anything though. Sashin playing off on the flank. EMP does come through. Grab still held. Sashin pushed into the corner. The nano goes through for Molly into dying breath to try to keep him alive. Self-destruct now going to be invested as well. Crab gets the catch, but no kills. The Transcendence from Izayaki just keeps he and pretty much everybody else alive. Baby's the only casualty. The cleanup is there, and with 10 seconds left, no one's going to be able to touch this cart.
They found Easy Han.
Easy Han spotted, translocates away, and that should just be it.
Can't touch. Oh, gets in and dies.
No, his corpse will touch the cart, but unfortunately the corpse can't contest.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them. I'm really confused by the decision to go for the duplication from Lip. Like, you're Becky, you are playing Echo. Unless all of your cooldowns are expended and you can't join in on that EMP dive, surely it's more beneficial for you to just whip out the focusing beam, burn down a target, then go for the duplication. By changing over to the Sombra, yeah, you can extend the hack a little bit, maybe use the machine pistol, but I feel like the overall DPS, which is what you're looking for off the back of the EMP, would have been stronger if you held on from the duplication. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They were under pressure or they did not have the cooldowns available immediately to follow up, so they were looking for some by fishing for the duplication. But yeah, once again, EMP setup left longing by the Valiant right now. They're really struggling to execute that combination.
puzzling to say the least. I mean, I don't know. It feels like you see the clear setup, you go for the EMP, you make sure you get Void. The grab comes out from Sashin, but they just never really decided to pull the trigger on that combo. You build up, you get a hack onto Void, still don't see the grab, and then by the time it comes out, it's, you know, Izayaki sitting alone in it with the Transcendence rolling, saying, cool, like, I'm just big chilling in here. So now, again, it's a hold in front of point B, much like we saw in Kings Row. Shanghai Dragons, they have the win condition to close out the series right here, right now. Valiant, again, need to have an incredibly strong defense. Lip goes for it, gets one shot across, takes Becky, chunks him out, but now we'll just be swapping off. Even though I'd love to see him just stay with it, because why the hell not?
I mean, look, you could probably try an alternative solution right now. The Becky Echo.
The Becco.
Becco, if you would. Yep, there you go. Knew that one of us had to do it. Both of us ended up doing it. Really struggling to coordinate with the EMP. I really feel like if you had a Tracer instead, follow up with a dive, pulse pistols, consistent damage output, might be able to find something here a little bit more beneficial on that critical combo, because that has been a deciding factor in this series so far. How well can they execute off the back of EMPs, off the back of hacks? I get the payload into the escort, into the market already. That's fairly standard. Now the real fight begins.
Lip, quick hop away. Has the hack reveal there onto Molly. Oh, detected. And Easy Han passing like ships in the night. Lip jumps back over here. Doesn't have that much distance. Lobs the translocator. Tries to get into stealth. The overpower, but he comes through. They keep him alive. And now he's looking to try to take down Easy Han.
He's on the run.
He knows that he's low. Pushes the corner. Health packs have to come flying in from Lengsa. They keep him alive. And Easy Han's going to translocate out. Narrowly escapes. Becky, however, taken down. Fleta, the Tracer on the ground, somehow finding that elimination. Easy Han again, getting chunked. Steadily gets topped back up, but so much space being conceded right now to the Shanghai Dragons.
I mean, the way to get away with that is a hack and an Orb of Discord onto Becky. Just ground them a little bit, add the extra damage amplification. Finally, they've gone to collect the payload. I was worried it was wheeling back a little bit too far, but this is Shanghai Dragons playing beyond the scope of the point.
Oh, Nano onto Void. Sashin gets a Nano as well, but he gets slept. Pulse bomb.
Molly's gone.
And out finds Molly. The bubbles can't be there. He gets the back line torn asunder. The support's gone. Becky only able to get the Tracer at the very end. But that is the cap. Now it's 4.5 minutes if the Valiant want to be able to take this map.
Look, this is very likely the Shanghai Dragons should be able to finish this one off. You know, Becky keeps getting picked off here. Sashin's got a grab. Void capable of eating that. Sneaky little translocator spot for the TP back. Let's see an execution. This is what we need you to do to get it over the line on point B. Use it to kill the momentum of the Shanghai Dragons. Start building your defense. EMP, Graviton Surge. Find the kills off the back end of it. Lip also getting in position for their own disruptive force. If they don't hit Izayaki with the EMP or finish him off, this Graviton Surge is worth nothing though. Izayaki can just drop the Transcendence. Fleta deleted. Okay. That's more like it, Valiant.
Yeah, that is exactly what we need to see. Just more of that. One ult, one pick, fight wins. Shanghai Dragons widely resetting. Still hanging back. Fleta's going to be quick to rejoin here. That is exactly the kind of team play that we need to be seeing if they're going to pull off this hold. Becky spotting multiple. Knows that they're playing for it. Hack goes out. They catch Void. Sashin's still holding on to this grab. We'll see when he decides to layer this in.
Saving it for next map at this rate. So hopefully he gets it off. EMP.
EMP goes through. They get Easy Han. Lengsa still hacked for the moment. Rallying out. Going to be popped just to try to really keep them in this fight. Know that they're down a member. Grab goes in. Transcendence out. Izayaki keeps Bebe alive. Kill not going to be found. Becky now goes for the dupe, goes for the Ana, and Sashin's going to be taken down. Void does get anti, but he's got a self-destruct that he's going to let it loose, throws it up into the air. The pick breaks the dupe, and that is just no one touching the cart once more. What a way to finish things out. It's a 3-0 for the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Valiant seemingly not being able to bounce back after suffering the loss after being eliminated from playoff and play-in contention just yesterday. They get blown out of the water.
I'm fairly certain, now someone's going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Izayaki didn't have to use Transcendence on that offense until I think they held onto the Trans for quite a while, especially on point B anyway. There should have been a lot of insight given over that, hey, they probably have a the Transcendence available. So when we grab, we want to have some kind of shutdown mechanic. Maybe the anti-heal coming in from an anabionic grenade. Maybe a hack onto Izayaki so we can delete them immediately before that comes online. The Transcendence tool being up means that when Sarshin did eventually get the Graviton Surge out, saw a little bit of pressure applied to Bebe, but Izayaki just pushed the ultimate button, Transcendence comes on, and when you only have Sarshin being the damage dealer in that instance to try and burn through, or at least the only visible damage dealer in that instance, really tough to convert off the back of it. I feel as though, yeah, that's been a weak point of the Valiant this series, is unable to convert from critical ultimates just from a little bit of coordination that should be built up. But hey, I believe they've got a couple more matches left in this stage. They won't be making it through play-ins, they won't be making it through playoffs. Let's just try and end the season on a high. Dragons, though, performing well, pretty dominant in this series, a 3-0 performance. And here's your player of the match, it's Void.
Yep, very well deserved here from Void. Just big level up in performance. We were questioning, his presence on this team because seemingly Dragons were saying, you know what, we're just going to keep running Void no matter what. We think, this is very much an off-tank meta, even though we have seen a decent amount of Winston. They've been pushing him. They've been pushing this D.Va. And initially, it was not working. The coordination, the cohesion was completely missing from the side of Shanghai Dragons. But this was... these last two series from the Shanghai Dragons that they played in have been a return to form for Void and for the team overall. Going over to the Zarya, a treat to watch. The guy has been impeccable at that pick for the longest time. This little sequence of events as well was just great as he just goes ahead and tears everybody apart. But yeah, very much finding his footing. Shanghai Dragons able to perfectly play around Void. Void able to perfectly play around the rest of them. And yeah, he makes the D.Va look incredibly strong here once again. Stats might not be the flashiest thing in the world to take a look at, but this doesn't include the Zarya performance where he was having a very strong showing on King's Row, but he just looks so damn strong the whole series throughout.
Yeah, it doesn't need to have the pop-off performance when it comes to the stat line. Like you said, splitting time between D.Va and Zarya splits down the overall resources. You could just visibly see the impact Void was having on this team, and definitely was one of the keys to success of the Shanghai Dragons today. But there you go. Oh, that makes a change, actually, Seth. We've had a support win player of the match. We've had a tank win player of the match. Usually, it just goes to the damage dealer, so that's a nice change up from what we usually see. No doubt, we'll probably have a damage dealer in the next series that's coming up, because we've got Fusion versus Hunters coming up soon.
Very true. We'll have to just, see who it goes to. If it is going to be a damage dealer, is it going to be Zest? M3? Is it going to be Carpe? No, we're definitely not going to see Carpe. I don't think that's going to happen. I haven't seen him in a good long while. But, of course, with Leave and Jinmu also in the mix, it could be a decent shout for any of those players, depending on who shows up. But we will go to a quick little break. We'll come back. We'll chat a little bit more about this series, set the stage for the next one, and then we'll carry on our merry way. This is a hell of a lot faster of an evening than I was anticipating. We're only just 2 hours over now. We've got both two series out of the way with one more left to go. So we'll have a quick little break. We'll come back and chat, and then we'll get ready for the Fusion versus the Chengdu Hunters. The Orange Chicken Bowl is coming up next, so don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
And welcome back. It's time for our game break here after our second series. Looks like a day of 3 Overwatch so far. We'll have to see if Chengdu Hunters versus Fusion can deliver for us. But this series here, not exactly what was anticipated. We know that the Shanghai Dragons have been on the up and up, but so have the Valiant. So seeing them get blown out of the water like this, it felt like we went back to last year, this matchup. This was not a very close affair whatsoever.
No, and I think the Dragons were playing really well. They were delivering on all the key beats that they needed to. I think it was more so an unusual level of sloppiness from the Valiant today. I think this is more of a Valiant loss than a Dragons won, to be honest. I think there was many opportunities where the Valiant could have come back into it. I'm not going to rail too much harder on them, and instead I'll focus on the Dragons' success here. Void, I mean, he got player of the match, evident enough. Both the D.Va and the Zarya performances were fantastic as well. I think Marvel's performance in the first map, who subbed out for Sarshin, not really the problem with the team. I think his Winston was serviceable. Doomfist even managed to find a clutch pick onto Fleder's Tracer. Occasionally when we moved over to Mecha... We set the tempo for how this was going to go.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of not touching points and carts and things like that. Some of them, and I'd say the majority of them, were actually forced by the hands of Shanghai Dragons just not enabling the Valiant to get into position. But there was that one or two in there that was a little bit puzzling, a little bit of a head scratcher from the Valiant. But it was just a very well-piloted series from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Void flipping back over, showing the Zarya after playing so much D.Va as of late, just continues to look absolutely incredible on that pick. Not a day has gone by since this guy made a name for himself on that Zarya. And yeah, he continues to excel. Great performance from him. Very well-deserved player of the match. And just a quick series, I guess, that if you're a Valiant fan or if you're the Valiant themselves, they probably just would like to forget about it and focus up for the few remaining sets that they do have before their year is over.
Yeah, so Valiant, like I said, they're not really fighting for anything other than pride at the moment, so they will be able to have other opportunities to raise their head quite highly. Shanghai Dragons, they're trailing behind the Seoul Dynasty in the overall standings at the moment after a week start in the Countdown Cup. However, they are, of course, already secure for playoffs, so they're not really to worry about it. So just to remind you, the 3 teams that have secured their positions in playoffs already will not have to go through play-ins. Seoul Dynasty, Shanghai Dragons, Philadelphia Fusion, who are going to be up next, actually, against the Chengdu Hunters. And they're obviously, one of the funniest things I saw, Seth, I went onto Twitter after the first series of the day, and lo and behold, it's not just the Charge celebrating, it's the Philadelphia Fusion, because that victory, that decimation of the Spark is what clinched them that position in the playoffs where they don't have to go through play. And so you saw the Fusion team interacting with the Charge team on Twitter going, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Lots of love hearts and emojis. Because, yeah, it was a big win for Fusion today, and they didn't even have to step onto the server.
Yeah, I mean, you take the W's where you can, that's for damn sure, but the Fusion, they're going to be looking for another one here, because they're not a team, like most of the teams that we have here in the region, of course, to rest on their laurels. They're not going to be like, okay, you know what, we're in playoffs, let's just coast, who cares if we lose this series versus Chengdu. No, they want to be victorious on the other side of this orange chicken bowl, as we like to call it, between these two squads. And we'll see if they're going to be able to get it done, because Fusion and Chengdu Hunters both have had their ups and downs throughout this season. So we'll see who's going to be able to come out on top, who's going to be able to win that first map, and what those maps are when we come back for the break. So we'll get the teams loaded up ready in the lobby. You guys just sit tight and wait for a couple minutes, and we'll be right back. It didn't take very long at all. Now did it. There we go. It's time to go into our final series of the evening. Fusion versus the Chengdu Hunters. This one, not much to play for because both teams are locked into their positions. Fusion currently locked into playoffs. Chengdu Hunters locked in for play-ins. But both teams are still going to be hungry for that win. They want to just, like we said, play for pride, play for your fandom, and try to walk away victorious in this Orange Chicken Bowl. So one Orange team will be victorious at the end of it all. The other one's going to be left bloodied and bruised on the floor.
Yeah, different shades of orange, only just probably a couple of hex code values off, but of course, it's still going to be competitive all the same. Philadelphia Fusion, like I said, riding a high at the moment. Just overall, I guess this team's had a fantastic season so far. I think their additions, the rookies they brought into it, the likes of Zest and MN3, who have become mainstay starters of the roster, have really found their own over the course of an entire year. Expect them to get a lot of play time for the rest of the season as well, because they really are delivering for the Fusion lineup and brought a breath of fresh air. Hopefully, getting into the playoffs enables them to have a good benchmark of where they can challenge a little bit further and make deeper runs in the tournament. Fusion fans have been longing for success when it comes to postseason. We're finally going to be able to grab more hints of that, I feel, potentially from this roster. They can just somehow manage to beat the Shanghai Dragons and the Seoul Dynasty and any other North American team that stands in their way, which might be a bit of an ask, but stocks are high on them right now, I feel.
Sure, I think stocks can be high on both of these teams at any given moment, but they can also go crashing through the floor and you can lose your life savings in the blink of an eye. Both of these teams have competed with the best in the region. They have looked absolutely incredible at twists and turns, but then they turn around, they play another series, and they completely bottom out, much like we saw from Hangzhou Spark earlier today. Beats the Seoul Dynasty, get blown out of the water 0-3. So it can happen to either side. We'll see if it happens to either of them today. Hopefully not. Hopefully we have a somewhat competitive series to close out the evening. But first, before we get into the action, of course, let's meet our team, starting with the Philadelphia Fusion.
Are you ready for the show?
Carpe again! And MN3 is going absolutely nuclear! Zest catches and instantly finds 3 kills.
Charge for his team application matrix as well, but Fury, excellent gravitic flood.
Spark had the numbers, but Bellisry has the space. The mines! The double kill!
Shot through Aim God. He's looking for the elimination. He goes on the offensive, but Aim God shuts him down. Everybody really low inside of the valley. Nixa gets 2 for himself. Okay. And here they are, your starting 5. Of course, just given the off-tank meta, we will be seeing a lot more of Fury. Bellisry, he's shown up from time to time during this this qualifier stage, but widely it has been the Fury show. And with D.Va continuing to rise in stunk value, Fury, definitely a good person to have on your roster.
Yeah, showing their value. We've already sung the praises of MN3 and Zest, but Aim God and Fixer have definitely been fantastic additions to the lineup as well. This Fusion roster has been great, and I promise you we will talk about the Hunters in a second. They'll be coming up shortly. We'll get the starting lineup because, like Seth said, both these teams can be competitive. We can have a good series to close it out at the end here. Players like Leave and Jinmu have always had phenomenal performances as it is, and yeah, I'll be curious to see what the tank lineup they'll roll out with. But here they are, starting with Daisy today.
Okay.
And you got Monk and Nisha in the roll-up as well. Yeah, I think that this map. Yeah, like I said, I'm with you, Seth. I'm hoping that this goes the distance. I'm hoping that we do get a 5-mapper to close it out, because it would be a little bit of a fast day. Too quick for me, actually, if we went for a 9-0 day.
Yeah, we might not get 15 maps, but I could settle for 11. That would be okay with me, I suppose. Better than having just 9. So we'll see if these teams are going to be up to task. Daisy starting, it's not something that we've seen too much as of late. We have often seen Gaga being the one to play, so I'm curious to see what the map set is going to be looking like. Because, it could be, it'll be interesting to see. Because if it's something like Ilios is something where we have seen a hell of a lot of Winston play. So we'll have to see exactly what this is going to look like as we get ready to go in.
Well, I'll give you a spoiler, Seth. Map number 1 is in fact going to be Ilios. It's Ilios, yeah. We've had 2 Busans. We won't have a third. Elias going to kick things off for us. Actually, we might get a third. Busan's going to be map number 5 if it goes that distance, if it goes that far and plays into the script we've laid out. But as you can see, the full map's there. Ilios, Paraíso, Route 66, New Queen Street, and Busan. But we haven't gone past an escort map today, Seth. We've not seen a push, which I know would make Avril very happy if he was here.
Well, if we do get to push, Chengdu Hunters better hope that they have a lead, because New Queen Street, while the Chengdu Hunters have been impeccable at Colosseo, New Queen Street not been a map that's too kind to them, whereas for the side of the Philly Fusion, New Queen Street has been their stomping ground when it comes down to push. They have been very, very strong on that map, so we'll see what happens and if we can even get there to begin with, but we will just go ahead and keep our fingers crossed.
Starting things off on, well, you talked about how Winston might be an option for these two teams, but we are having hovered, of course, the D.Va and the Zarya, which have been the dominant tank choices in the meta so far.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Support line seems fairly consistent as well. TPs to get people out. Where's the flex? What are we doing? Tracer versus Tracer. So mirror composition to kick things off on the first round.
Yep, mirrored comps, and it's going to be a little bit more of a, a closer look at Daisy on this D.Va. Not something that we've seen a ton of. Sometimes does go for that Zarya. Leave making battle against Zest right here off the rip. Takes a hell of a lot of damage. Receives some healing though. He should just go ahead and say thank you very much. Try to get up towards that nano boost. It's already a third of the way. Point unlocked.
Presence for Hunters.
Yeah, they're inching their way forward here. Good damage in. Daisy gets antied out. Now it's going to be a break on the mech. Huge opening now for Fusion to play off the back of. And then 3 being able to scoop that as well. Way out in the front towards the EMP. Point finally going to be conceded over. Chengdu Hunters know that they cannot continue to play forward like that. Wrap around the back. Get the catch coming through. Anti goes out. Nisha keeps himself alive. At least
Daisy down.
Zest continues to play forward, but yeah, Daisy was eliminated by Fury. That buys even more time on the percentage gain here for the side of the Fusion, where it seems like we have a little bit of a bug on the percentage ticker, so I'm not quite sure where we're at. There we go.
We're at 20%. 20%. There you go. But another takedown there for Leave, so it's going to keep climbing up for the Philadelphia Fusion. Hunter's struggling to find a way in here. Pulse Bomb sitting online for Zest. I think Monk might be the target of that one in a second.
Monk be careful. Nisha, either one would be a good.
Oh, they're going for Daisy.
Oh, he's just going to get both. Pulse Bomb on Nisha, follows up with the Pulse Pistols on the Monk, and yeah, that is just incredibly well played here from Zest. Sees that Daisy is very low, but won't quite be able to finish him off. Daisy, of course, is saying, you know what, I'm not going to go into the dropship. I'm going to let you heal off of me. But I don't know where Jinmu was, but I know where he is now, and that's waiting to respawn.
Yeah, bit staggered, bit slow for Chengdu Hunters. 60% and climbing at this point for the Fusion, so not completely final fight territory, but they're getting close. Spotted out. We'll translocate to safety. That EMP for MN3. I want to see what their dive looks like. How's the follow-up from Zest? They're not even needed.
What is happening? He's not even hacking.
I'll tell you what's happening.
Just owning him in the 1v1.
Ah, well, you say 1v1, but I did see AimGod sneak damage. Daisy, hacked up. Comes an ult battery. Monk goes low, but still stays alive. Transcendence forced.
Yeah, Trans to go ahead and try to escort them forward. Jinmu uses the EMP, but kills so far not going to be found. Answering EMP comes out, and instantly 2 people disappear. It's the damage dealers on the side of the Chengdu Hunters. 93% ticking up. Daisy low, hacked the mech, about to be broken. Another pulse bomb. The stick was there. It doesn't matter. The break on the mech comes through. It's an extended team kill, and 100% to 0 on Well to kick things off.
I don't think anyone died.
Okay, well, Zest just died.
Well, I think with 1 death and it was a suicide. Well, I will need someone to check the stat line on that one, but I can't remember seeing the Chengdu Hunters have a kill.
I think that you may be correct.
Oh,
I think they got
that's
completely
rough.
shut out.
That is a rough way to start a series, my friend.
That it is. But that's why it's control, and you get multiple rounds to try to play through. So just got to come back into this one stronger as we shift to Lighthouse. And if that doesn't happen, then I think the stage is set for another one-sided affair.
Okay, well, hopefully we don't see it go that way, and this one's a little bit more competitive.
I mean,
one really struggle to take control.
Trader, is that Daisy that whole round never built up for his immortality field.
Oh,
never
Nisha's
built up to
dead.
have his self-destruct. He just couldn't quite get there. I think he made it to about 70%. Nisha picked off the rip. Aim God living up to his name.
Okay, they're keeping a close eye on Daisy. Volleys across the way. None of the orbs connect from both of the Zenyatas. Point presence given over to the Philadelphia Fusion. Fury's already there. That's quite fairly isolated. Daisy, he can't really contest that one, and he's going to get punished for it quite aggressively.
He moves in. He's trying to get Fury, but the first healing out picks up. It's just way too much. Daisy's still hovering on low HP. Hack now in from MN3. Takes away the ability to use that D-Matrix. He's going to try to slide up onto the high ground. Give some opportunity here for Nisha, who is surging up towards that Nano Boost, much like Fixa. Pretty much neck and neck between the two Hondas for now. Actually, both support on either side. Pretty much just completely even, but Fusion still holding. Oh, man, the casual lobbing from Zest. He gets the stick. I mean, he makes the pulse bomb look like it's the magnetic grenade from Cassidy. It just latches on.
There's a fadeaway. Zest and Fury coming up big there. Just the clearance of the board. 40% in climbing for the Fusion. Still, no final blows. No final blows for the Hunters yet, Seth. This is rough.
Still eluding them. 50% now for the side of the Fusion. We're looking for back-to-back 100-0s, and if they can do it without dying even once on either round, that is absolutely insane. Hack attempt from MN3, not going to find anything. Does get spy checked there by Daisy. Seems like he should be able to manage to grab a self-destruct in this round. Jinmu going low. EMP still held. Needs to get healed back up. Brief second to point contest. Daisy now
gonna lose mech.
has to try to retreat. Gets the D-Matrix back up in time. Keeps himself protected. But MN3, he's going on the hunt. Just in front of him, the supports.
Great
reaction.
reaction.
But no, the Transcendence does come in, and there's the first kill. Fixa going to be taken down. Daisy finds the elimination while he's nanoed up. Both support ultimates invested here from the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Aim God now going to be antied out. Fury just sitting on the point, trying to deny this flip from coming through. His leave goes low, but Monk is there to save his life, taking down Zest. So another kill found. Self-destruct burned by Fury. He's continuing to extend this point presence. The flip comes in the very last second here, just before it would have gone into overtime. Chengdu Hunters,
not the
at long last, in control.
Yeah, not the complete shutout we were staring down the barrel of at the moment, Seth, but 97% is a very difficult position for Chengdu Hunters to be in. They lose that fight, they lose control of the payload, they're probably not going to get another attempt to defend it.
Okay, EMP in the back line. Jinmu almost gives his life for that. Goes out of 8 HP before he's able to translocate out. It was a big EMP, but the follow-up just was not there. He was hoping that he was just going to be able to dump the ult, get a solo kill, buy that much more time, get that much more percentage gain on the point. Not to be.
Yeah, the thing is, though, the anti-nade did come in and find free as well, so he did the wrong kind of support. He needed a little bit of damage to help him convert some of those kills.
Yeah.
His team was aware of it. Oh, M-God's back on the board.
There he is. Nanoed up. Turns the sights now over to Daisy. Gets the kick. There's the self-destruct. So Baby Diva taken down. Zest somehow gonna get taken out by the self-destruct. A bit of a head scratcher there, but the flip is there all the same.
No one can touch.
Just get forced out. Chengdu Hunter Zone needs somebody to play forward onto the point. Leave. Nope, it's too late. It's too late.
Every time!
What is in the water today? What's happened?
Every single match today, we have seen an instance where someone could touch when they did not. The chances of the Hunters actually being able to reclaim that and turn it round and still win the round out, very slim. We'll grant them that. But there was potential to extend that fight and maybe see what they could get there. We just didn't have the confidence in, I believe it was Leave who was playing on the Tracer to just step forward there. Maybe didn't have the dash cooldowns. It's rough, but it's a frustrating sight to see when the Eastern teams continue to struggle to touch the objective sometimes.
Yep. Well, this is just once again feeling like familiar territory. I'm having deja vu series after series after series. But there you have it. Philly Fusion very dominant. A little bit more of a showing from the Chengdu Hunters in the second round, but Well was a complete wash, 100-0, blown out of the water. Didn't even suffer that many deaths throughout the entire map. So Chengdu Hunters, tall order for them to try to bounce back after that one. Need to make it happen though. It's going to be Paraíso coming up next as we do get ready to go into our hybrid map. So we'll see if the Chengdu Hunters can find some stability or if it's going to be much more of the same this whole evening through. Either way, we'll be back in a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. And we are back. One map out of the way, and things continue to trend in a similar fashion for our first two series. Fusion, they come out swinging. They take the first round of Ilios with relative ease. Some more signs of life from the Chengdu Hunters over on Lighthouse, but then, I mean, I agree. I think that they inevitably would have lost the round, but we didn't even get to see them try to play it out through OT. No one got the touch. Leave was far too late trying to dash forward to extend the overtime, so things clearly a little bit off for the Chengdu Hunters at the very beginning. Let's see if they can find some stability as we go into our second map.
Yeah, and then we had a substitution, Gaga coming in for Daisy, so this is probably the usual roster we'd expect to see roll out from the Hunters for the rest of the series. Maybe that provides a huge difference. I don't necessarily think the tank lineup was necessarily to blame in that first map. Once again, probably just a preference thing as we head on to different map archetypes. As we highlight at the top of the series, next destination, Paraíso. It's another hybrid map, and yeah, we'll see how this plays out, but I think one of the most dominant control maps we've seen in a very long time, Seth. You know, we were talking about how we think Well was deathless beyond Zest jumping into the pit at the end by himself under no duress whatsoever. But when we came around to Lighthouse, a little bit more competitive, but still felt like Fusion didn't really lose control of that series at all so far. So let's see if the Chengdu Hunters can bring new life to them in map number 2, as we're about to load into that shortly.
Well, here we go. Paraíso to see if it could be the staging ground for a turnaround so that we can actually have a competitive series. That's all I'm asking for. I know that we've been doing a lot of molding here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I know that Trid and myself, we've been sounding like we are probably pretty pissed off. But no, we're not pissed at the teams. We're just pissed that I'm not seeing competitive Overwatch, and that's what we've been having this entire way through the Countdown Cup qualifier. We're getting towards the end of the season. I want to see tight-knit games. I want 15 maps in one evening. I don't want to see teams get blown out of the water, so please, Chengdu Hunters, just give me something to work with. You're my last hope.
It's the last hope for today anyway, because our first two series, I mean, I wish we could go back and do those differently, but we can't. So we're living in the present. It all comes down to the Hunters to kind of rectify what we've been seeing so far. They're on the defense first. Got Leave on the Sojourn, Gaga playing the Winston. Philadelphia Fusion could roll out with a similar composition, but I think they're going to keep on to it, because if there was going to be an Ashe being played by Fusion, I have a feeling MN3 would be doing that. So no doubt Zest will probably be going over to Tracer, I believe, to run out on this map. But quick pick for Widow. Up first.
Quick peek. Okay, shot goes over towards Gaga, not going to get the hit. Swap over.
There you go.
It's going to be Zest over to the Genji now. Leave on the Sojourn. Let's see if he can find some more impact compared to the Tracer, which was kind of getting manhandled on Ilios.
Very separated team. Everyone's playing around terrain quite well at the moment. First aggressive move by Furies goes up to the high ground, trying to challenge Gaga, who's used those jump pads, and he's got nothing left. Zest takes him out of the sky.
Well, first blood found. Zest claims it. Already a third of the way towards the Dragon Blade. Leaves barely gotten to shoot at anybody yet. They pull back,
full retreat,
retreating and scattering around the point. Fury playing forward. Jinmu watching the flank. He's going to rotate around the back. He might be able to get on top of the Fusion supports here.
And that's what he wants.
Just wait and see. One tick gained so far. Gaga back. Aim God antied out. Monk is going to be the one who actually finishes him off. Drops down, joins in with the rest of the team, and they cannot pursue to actually find the elimination. Zest now in danger of going down. He's got no HP to work with. Looks like he finds a health pack somewhere off screen, while Gaga will be delivered unto death once more by Fury, but it's the Chengdu Hunt who's able to occupy the point once more and stop the ticks from coming through any further. Monk snipes another target with a quick kill for him.
Zen-like state for them, able to calm themselves and calm the nerves, able to find the shots ring true and win out there, even taking out Aim God earlier on in the fight. I was really concerned when I called out Monk. I saw him being isolated by Zest, but he was able to jump down to the safety of Nisha on the Brigitte and provide that added safety net and clearance for them, which keeps them alive and helps turn the fight around for the Chengdu Hunters. The third was accrued on the map, so that will be their jumping off point next time they touch the point. They still have a long way to go if they're going to cap point A and extend the map.
Okay, Nano's out. Zest, however, takes him down. Leave. Gets a headshot.
No damage.
Seems like he is. That's going to be the damage dealers now eliminated the Nano. Not going to lead to anything here from Fury. Nothing gained. Gets the push away there onto Jinmu for a brief little moment, but he knows that this is just inevitability. Gets taken down. Looks to go off the side of the map here for the quick little reset, but here comes the bullying. Yeah, I mean, hands off the keyboard. Can't say I blame you, Fury. They wait for him to wake up. They finish him with the ante. That's a minute and 35 seconds now left for Fusion on this attack.
And look at the ultimate resource they have is that self-destruct online. They're about to get Transcendence in the Blade. They won't have the Nano Boost available unless this fight gets elongated. Chengdu Hunters, meanwhile, Overclock, Pulse Bomb, Nano Boost, the Rally. I mean, this is the dive. This is the last fight. It's pretty much done for the Hunters. Like, they're pretty much going to take this one.
Hell of a lot to work with. Fusion need to play catch-up here. Getting that
trade
Blade online is going to be a big one for them. They don't have that Transcendence to try to keep everybody alive through it. Jinmu diving into the back doesn't let the Pulse Bomb go. Takes a good nasty hit of damage, and now he's in danger of dying. Barely manages to make it away from Fury in time.
But this is their final fight. They need to get that Blade online. They're not going to have the Nano Boost for it. They're running out of time here, Seth, and he's still not traded up. This is going to be an absolute nightmare for them. Pulse Bomb went out. There's the EMP.
Okay.
They found Leave.
Yeah,